Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Rome Vice binding. It got a little bit of an overhaul for this year, so let's dive right into it. I rode this binding at Wolf Creek ski area in the preseason. It was sunny bluebird skies with warmer temps, chunder snow, icy snow, fresh corduroy, mashed potatoes, kind of everything in between, and I rode it on my Rome Warden with my K2 Thraxis boots. When it comes to adjustability on this binding, you have all the standard features plus more. So you've got flip cams on the outside of the strap to lengthen or shorten that as needed. You have 3 positions to adjust the placement of the toe strap. On the heel strap, you also have the pivot mount to raise it or lower it based on your instep. You have high back rotation. You also have the forward lean. And you can adjust the heel cup and the outside of the chassis, whether you want it to go more forward or backwards to center the boot. On top of the fact, you can also adjust the toe ramp on this binding. What's nice about the straps on this binding is that the toe strap is designed to contour over the toe box of just about any boot out there. You're going to notice right away that it'll fit over anything, while the heel strap has some padding to it, but it's not a crazy amount. The way this is designed, it's not going to break in, it's not going to stretch. It's going to consistently contour around the boot, but still give you a little added padding. That way it's not relying on just holding the instep in and the boot providing the padding. Now you do have the pivot mount, which is nice because that allows you to move that heel strap up and down based on where your instep and how the boot actually fits in the binding as well. I never had any issues with these ratchets. You know, you got your 1-finger quick release. It does what you need it to do. They climb exceptionally well. They stay put, they stay locked in. Overall, the ratchets are designed very well and they do their job. The Highback does its job and does its job well. It's got play to it, so if you're one of those guys that really wants to tweak into the Highback, you can. You'll notice that it gets a little bit stiffer right around where the forward lean section is, so if you are driving into it, you will feel that there. Overall, it's a Highback. It does Highback things. That's really what Highbacks do. Overall, the flex on this binding is just past the middle of the road, so you do have some power in there. You can really drive into it when you need to. You do have the ASIM wrap, which gives you more lateral flex, so if you're tweaking grabs or just like trying to get your weight out over the nose and tail of the board, you can do that a little more easily than a full wrap binding. But overall, it's a park flexing binding that you can ride the whole mountain with if you need to. So overall, the ride feel of this binding is solid. It's got dampening where you want it. It's got lateral play where you need it. It's just a binding that is kind of a workhorse that does everything. So who's this binding for? The freestyle focused rider that wants a binding that can kind of do everything and is kind of on a bit of a budget, as this is cheaper than the Katana or the Black Label. So here's the thing about this binding. They revamped it for this year, and essentially it's a Katana with like a few tweaks to it, realistically. So for $100 less, you basically get a Katana with a softer high back and a little bit softer chassis flex, especially right underfoot. If you're on a budget, this binding is absolutely phenomenal. You get the pivot mount on there, you've got all the adjustability, you've got an amazingly great toe strap, you've got a solid heel strap, you got great ratchets on there. This is a great binding for the buck. I mean, if you're really looking for a binding that's going to be able to do it all, you can't afford a Katana, you definitely can't afford a Black Label, this is what you should be looking at. They kind of overbuilt this binding for the price point. This has been my review of the Rome Vice. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own a pair? Are you going to buy a pair? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this binding. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really want to support us and just help us grow out what we're doing over here, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.